Good day, everyone across North America. This is John Garmendi with Sony's Professional Solutions of America, welcoming you back to our series of ongoing Tech Tuesday AV webinars and our brand new in-event platform. These webinars were started in response to the COVID crisis so that our customers, resellers, integrators, and consultants can stay informed and up to date on Sony's latest products and solutions. In today's webinar, we'll take a look at the latest introductions to Sony's Crystal LED family, the B and C series. A few items of housekeeping before we start. As in previous webinars, there'll be an opportunity for Q&A, so please submit your questions via the chat panel. I'll post links to information referred to during the webinar in the chat panel, and I'll also post a link to our previously recorded Tech Tuesday archived Tech Tuesday webinars on our YouTube playlist. So joining me today will be Chris Swartz, our Crystal LED product manager, and Johnny Beppu, our marketing manager for Crystal LED. I'll turn it over to Chris now and join you all back here later for Q&A.
All right, thanks, John. Hopefully everybody can hear me. I would like to start with a short video that explains a little bit about the B and C series Crystal LED product. Thank you. All right, great. Hopefully that video was informative, but before we go into our upcoming lineup of Crystal LED displays, let me speak a little bit about what we have in the field currently. So, we have a solid customer base for DirectView LED on a global basis, and here are some examples. The key to these installations is image quality. If you have seen Crystal LED video walls, you would have been amazed by the video quality and seamless images. We also saw a big trend towards virtual, where people are trying to transform actual objects or scenes into a digital world. In automotive segments, Honda and Mitsubishi use the Crystal LED video wall as a power wall. So instead of creating clay mock-ups, they use the video walls by rendering and manipulating CAD designs, 3D CAD designs in real time. In this way, they can reduce the total cost of ownership while reducing the lead time of development drastically. So we also have customers in museums and broadcast, as well as corporate segments. In corporate segments, these customers use the video walls to showcase the precise images of their power of their products in large sizes. So now let's talk about our newly announced Crystal LED B and C series products. Here is the approach we took. Our ultimate goal is to realize overwhelming image quality with easier installation and maintenance, right? So looking at the previous Crystal LED, the image quality is fantastic. However, we had some challenges in price and installation. We will be using a new micro LED, and we have a newly developed processor, the X1 for Crystal LED, to improve image processing. We are also going to adopt a new mechanical structure to overcome challenges in price and installation. So in short, the next generation of Crystal LED is able to achieve a great balance of overwhelming image quality with total cost of ownership reduction because of straightforward installation, easy access maintenance, and high reliability. So to widen customer acceptance, we are going to have a total of 4 display types. So first, we have 2 series, so each with unique characteristics. Thank you. C series represents high contrast and deep black coating, and B series represents high brightness and anti-reflection coating. Secondly, we have 2 pixel pitches, a 1.2 millimeter and a 1.5 millimeter respectively. C series has 800 nits with over 1 million to 1 contrast ratio for image quality sensitive applications such as industrial design, corporate lobbies, showrooms, and boardrooms. B series has 1800 nits for applications under a lot of light, or applications where video walls are used for shooting. So the B series will work great in corporate lobbies and virtual production studios, as well as broadcast LED backdrops. So we developed the B series in collaboration with Sony Pictures Entertainment. Their input was key for us to meet the strong demands of content creators. The key to Crystal LED is image quality. Our newly developed processor, X1 for Crystal LED, has all the bells and whistles such as reality creation, motion flow, and super bit mapping. Reality creation is a database type super resolution function. By analyzing input signals and comparing with a database of images, the processor creates detail in the image on the fly to deliver the best possible image quality. Motion flow is for smoother and blur-free images. So X1 motion flow adds interpolated frames to create smooth and clear moving images. Crystal LED is compatible with high frame rates of up to 120p. We also support super bit mapping. So super bit mapping is color that's processed at 22 bits to reduce banding and exhibit rich gradation expression. Another key is super high contrast. Thanks to micro LED and signal processing, Crystal LED gives super high contrast. In the DV LED industry, people usually only focus on pixel pitches. But contrast is really the key to providing exciting three-dimensional like images. We have a selection of C series or B series for high contrast and high brightness. And each of those have their own special coatings to target specific applications. Both series are compatible with 4K PQ HDR as well as hybrid log gamma. Okay, so let me show you some actual photo and video comparisons with conventional high-end LED. So all photos and videos were made by shooting Crystal LED C series, B series, and conventional high-end LED video walls one by one in the bright ambient lit room that you see right in front of you. So let's see some pictures. Well, here are some pictures Left images are conventional high-end LED video walls. By adapting X1 for crystal LED processor, you can see much crisper images with better expressions. And C series has deeper black. So let's take a look at some motion.
Let's begin our comparison of conventional high-end LED and Sony Crystal LED C series, B series. In this demonstration, we will show you how our Crystal LED C series and B series is able to achieve an immersive visual experience by using Sony's own processing technologies like reality creation, motion flow, and 22-bit super bit mapping. The image in the center of our comparison is a conventional high-end LED. The image on the left is Sony's Crystal LED C series, and the image on the right is our Crystal LED B series. All three images were shot in the same ambient light condition. The Crystal LED C series and B series both have extremely high image quality technology for a truly immersive visual experience. The difference between the two is the brightness and surface treatment. Thanks to its deep black coating, the C series achieves high contrast even in bright ambient light situations while maintaining 800 candelas per square meter brightness. As you can see, the black surface treatment reproduces true black levels when compared to the conventional high-end LED image. The B series has 1800 candelas per square meter brightness with an anti-reflection coating. As you can see in the image on the right, the red and blue colors are shining much brighter than the conventional high-end LED image. Sony's reality creation technology enhances image crispness with exclusive database type processing. Our Crystal LED C series and B series show crisp and detailed images and reproduces color more accurately than conventional high-end LED displays. Motion flow technology reduces motion blur for smooth reproduction of rapidly moving images. The text and detail in each window frame of the train are clearly visible without motion blur. Sony's 22-bit super bit mapping signal processing effectively smooths banding for rich image gradation. With this technology, precise image detail can be realized, even in dark areas of low luminance, to depict the creator's true intention. Thanks to the high contrast treatment with deep black coating, the Crystal LED C series reproduces deep blacks even in bright ambient light. The Crystal LED B series displays dazzling outside light with its high brightness and rich image expression. Crystal LED creates truly immersive experiences with hyper-realistic images. The Crystal LED C series achieves deep, engaging imagery, like the green trees in a forest with its high contrast treatment. The Crystal LED B series depicts the bright sunlight through the leaves with its high brightness. Thanks to Sony's exclusive display and image processing technologies and our continued pursuit of high image quality without compromise, Crystal LED clearly demonstrates superior picture quality than conventional high-end LED displays. The Crystal LED C-Series has a high contrast treatment with deep black coating enabling rich image gradation. It can be used in various applications, such as corporate showrooms, entranceways, and lobbies. The Crystal LED B-Series has a high brightness treatment enabling amazing dynamic range with wider color gamut. It can be installed in a variety of lit environments while achieving low reflection of lighting fixtures and outside ambient light such as virtual sets and production backdrops, as well as lobby environments.
Okay, thanks. We're back. Hopefully you were able to see the difference between conventional LED and Crystal LED even over the webinar. Video quality over the internet is always difficult, but I think the video speaks for itself. So next, let me show you a preliminary spec comparison. Both series are supported by the new X1 for Crystal LED processor, which includes 22-bit supermap functionality and HDR compatibility. Installation flexibility and maintenance are other key improvements. So current Crystal LED requires space on the backside, and it also requires a fan to cool it down. In contrast, the new Crystal LED doesn't require a fan or air conditioning. It can be wall mounted, and no special tools are required. The power supply is flexible by allowing both 100 volt and 200 volt service, and everything is accessed from the front side of the cabinet, so you only need a minimum amount of space behind the display. The power consumption is around 20% lower than the current Crystal LED, and this is also important because especially when customers are running a very large display for extended periods of time. Next. So Crystal LED is a modular structure. One cabinet is 27.5 inches diagonally, and by tiling cabinets horizontally and vertically, you can create a display that meets your needs. Here are some examples of the sizes. For Pixel Pitch 1.2, 110 inches is a full HD wall, and 220 inches is a 4K resolution wall. If you put additional cabinets horizontally, you could also make a 8K by 2K video wall, which would be great for sweeping vistas or other panoramic images. And for the 1.5 millimeter pitch, a 137 inch is full HD, and that's a 5 by 5 wall. And the 275 inch is 4K, and that's a 10 unit by 10 unit wall. Lastly, one controller, we're looking here on the right, can handle up to 4K resolution signals by HDMI and DisplayPort. You can scale up to 20 controllers at a time to create very large installations. Wanted to show you this. This is our online configurator tool, and this is available to anybody. It's really nice because you can go in here and you can choose the product. So it would be our ZRD2 in a pull down, or our B series or C series in the 1.2 and the 1.5. And you can actually configure based on the number of cabinets, or the size, or the feet. So we can do all that. You put that in, you get a nice little picture here, and then we also will give you the information of how many cabinets are going to be needed to be purchased, how many controllers, your height and width of the wall. It's all available right there. Once you do it, you can actually save it as a PDF and then send it to yourself. So it's pretty powerful. That website down there, I think we're making that available in the chat as well. I think John's making that available to you. But it's really a handy piece of equipment. So let's talk a little bit more about installation and some of the benefits of the new series. So it's installation with the B and C series is a very much straightforward process. It's only minimal backspace is required because access is from the front side for installation and maintenance. It's fanless and doesn't require any special ventilation. The weight of the B and C series is over 10% less than the current ZRD2. No special tools are required for the installation or alignment of the cabinets. We have added flexibility by allowing the display to be flat, wall-mounted, or curved. We can also keep the install close to the wall for ADA concerns. So in summary, first, Crystal LED displays super high contrast and high dynamic range thanks to micro LED and Sony's powerful image processing. Second, a newly developed processor, X1 for Crystal LED, delivers crisp and accurate images with rich expression. And third, we've made Crystal LED much easier and more flexible regarding installation and maintenance by adopting a new mechanical structure. And I wanted to put this slide here. There's some, since this is going to go out later, if you guys want to refer to this as well, our website is pro.sony/crystal-LED. There's a QR code on there. If you take your phone and scan it through the picture app on your phone, it will take you to that website as well. You can take a look. And I think we are at time for Q&A. And I'll hand it back to you, John.
Okay, great. Fantastic, Chris. We do have some questions. Let's start right out with, let's see, we've got a question here from David, and he asks, let me get back to the questions. Yeah, he says, if you're creating a large video wall, how does Crystal LED compare in terms of weight, mounting costs, etc., to a video wall made up of LCD flat panels?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, I mean, in all fairness, the cheapest way to create a video wall is going to be to get LCD panels. And typically, the reason for that is because the results are not as great as having a seamless wall, right? You can see the seams. You can see there's little edges. With a video, with a direct view LED video wall, you can scale and you can keep them seamless. I can't really tell you, the pricing difference, but I will tell you that just like with every direct view LED product, it's gonna be more expensive than an LCD video wall. I hope that answers your question. I really
okay. Very
on the weight. Sorry, John. Sorry to interrupt you there. But on the weight part, I can't really tell you that either because it varies wildly based on what products you use. That's it.
Okay. We've got a question from Daniel. He asks about doing 3D, and if so, at what resolution?
We can do 3D. We have active 3D capability through the processor, so you'd have to have active glasses. I think we can do it at any resolution. I mean, 4K on a size would be acceptable. I don't think there's I'm not sure, but I don't think there's a size limitation on that 3D. So as long as you are able to produce the content and put it to our processor, our controller, I think you should be good. We have 3D emitters outputs on the back of our controller, and as long as you know what you're doing in that setup, we should be able to reproduce whatever you need.
Very good, Chris. We've got another question. This one's from Linda. She asks, is Crystal LED TAA compliant?
That's an easy question. Yes.
Okay. And another one from Robert. He asks about the different types of axis adjustments on the cabinet itself.
Okay, that's a good question, Robert. There is X, Y, and Z axis on the cabinets themselves. When you pair these displays with a mounting structure, you will have the same X, Y, and Z axis adjustments based on whatever the mounts will give you. So there's plenty of room to adjust these and align these. So I don't think it should be a concern.
Okay, we've got two questions actually from Frederick, so we'll take them in order. The first one he asks about is what does the interconnect cabling for both power and signal processor look like between the processor and the panels? That's his first question. So go ahead.
Okay, I'll go ahead and answer the first part of that. So right now, the power is basically, if you have 110 volts, you just use a regular 3-prong adapter. You go into what I call the first daisy chain cabinet, and then that will get pushed up through the next cabinet, and those are basically extensions. And I don't want to get into the technical specs of the cables, but it's a short extension that would go male to female from one to the next. You can do 4 if you're using 100 volts. If you're using 200 volts, you can go up to 7 per 7 cabinets on one daisy chain. And that, obviously it depends on where your power distribution is, but it would probably have to be relatively close, probably within, I would say, 10, 15 feet for the long one. The small cables are about 3 feet. And for data, we are using Cat7 cable from the controller to the displays, and then what goes through each display, it's daisy chained as well with Cat7 cable.
Okay. Then there's a follow-up question from Frederick. He asks, which model, B or C, would you consider to be the best for large display screening room applications?
If you are in a light-controlled environment, I would suggest that you went with the C series. I think you're going to experience a better contrast with that, and that's what it's meant for. I mean, obviously we have the B series, and that's the picture quality is gonna be really close on that. But it's we have a black treatment for the contrast that really it changes it a bit. So I would say that in a very well light controlled environment, I would say that this C series is your best bet.
Okay, very good. We've got a question from Peter, and Peter asks about our mounting options. He wants to know if we've been speaking with some of the typical third-party mounting manufacturers, and if you can comment on that.
I can, and we are going to have options. So the idea is that you are going to be able to pick your favorite mounting partner. We are speaking with third-party vendors, and we will have certified mounting solutions from those vendors. I can't really go into who those vendors are right now, but it's going to be, you're going to have a good selection to choose.
Okay. Question from Shane. Shane asks about our ability to do a curved configuration, and asking, I guess, are there any limitations on the percentage of curve or the angle of curve, and any significant limitations?
Right now, we're not seeing any significant limitations if you're doing a concave wall, curved wall. We're not able to do convex, but we are able to do concave. I think you would have to work with your mounting partner to make sure that you are within those tight tolerances with your mounts to make sure that you've got your curve right and seamless. But yeah, we can do it. And right now, I think we're working on some stuff in the, in the slow curve area, but I don't want to give any specific numbers just yet.
Okay. Peter has a follow-up question, and he asks, is front or rear access required for maintenance?
It's all front. So once you mount the cabinets, you can get everything that you would need replaced. I mean, outside of the cabinet itself, the aluminum cabinet itself, from the front. So you're going to be able to take modules out, radiators out. If there's a power supply that has a problem, or if there's a RJ45 board or anything like that that goes bad, then you will be able to pull it out from the front and change it. So there's no need to get behind the cabinets once it's mounted.
Perfect. Craig asks, when will these be available and how much lead time for shipping?
Availability right now is mid to late summer of 21, so coming up. Lead time is going to be something you have to talk about. If you're into the bundle sizings, I think we're going to be able to get it to you relatively quickly. But if you have a custom size, there's going to have to be a conversation based on how big of a wall you have.
All right. Question from Chris. He asks, what IP protocol do you use to deliver data over the Cat7 cable?
So I can't really go into that, but to say this, we have IP data that goes between the controllers when you are tying controllers together and syncing up the video. But when you're going from the controller to the display, I'm not sure that it is IP data. So I would say none.
Okay. Michael asks, is the viewing angle the same for both the B and the C series?
Yes, that's where we're heading.
Okay, very good. Let's see what else we've got here. There's a couple of questions about color space, and those details are being finalized right now. So we will we'll release that information shortly in the future.
Yeah, I don't have an exact timeline on that, but probably within a month or two. Yes.
Okay. So, folks, just stand by for the information on color space and so on. Also, we've got a couple of questions on pricing. And for pricing, the same, we'll release that information through our network of Sony dealers. And you can contact your local Sony representative for that information. Question from Megan. Let's see. One issue with OLED is brightness. So is brightness an issue with HDR on these displays?
No, I don't think there are any issues with brightness and HDR. We will be able to use HDR on both of these displays, on the B and the C series, and brightness won't be an issue.
Okay. James asks about low temperature performance.
I'm not sure I understand that question. Low temperature, are we talking about low light performance, or are we talking about low temperature? Are you talking about outdoor? So let me take the question to mean that you want to put this in a location where the temperature is very, very low. So a meat locker, something like that. These displays are meant to be at a normal operating room temperature, and they are not designed to be outdoor at all. So this is mostly an indoor function. So hopefully that helps you.
Okay, we've got a question from Joe. He's asking about technical specs document. Has that been released yet?
We don't have a finalized document on all the technical specs. We're working on it. Everything I've given you today is preliminary, and this is where we want to be and where we're heading. But right now, we don't have a finalized document.
Question from Darren. Darren asks, can we use another controller on Crystal LED?
The answer to that right now is no. So you have to use the Sony controller, and that's the only one that'll work.
Warren asks, are there any touch screen options available as an add-on?
Currently, we haven't had any discussions about touch capabilities with this, and I don't think it's available right now. Maybe if there was a third party who was interested in developing something, we might be able to partner with them. I don't know the complete capabilities in that line, but right now the answer is no.
So I've got questions from I've got a question from Ben. He asks, is there a demo wall available now? And if not, when will it be available?
The answer is no. We don't have one available right now to view. We have plans for demo walls. We have plans for stationary demo walls, and we also have plans for mobile demo walls that we can send to a site for you to take a look at. That is all down the road, and I don't have specific dates, but it is going to be relatively soon.
Okay. Joe asks about power input requirements and panels per circuit.
Yeah, I kind of went into that a little earlier. There's two different types of panels per circuit. So there's the power circuit, and then there's the video circuit. And if you are using 100 volt service using your regular 110, 4 cabinets is all that you can push through with one circuit. If you are using the 220 volt, you will be able to do 7 cabinets in a circuit. So for power, that's how that works. It's a little different. The numbers aren't the same for the video and data. And those numbers, I think, are depending upon whether you're using the 1.2 or the 1.5.
Gotcha. Carlos asks about the video refresh rate.
Up to 120 hertz.
Okay, very good. And let's see. I think we've come to the end of our questions. I'll give one more minute to see if there's any additional questions. Nope. So with that, I think we've come to the end of our webinar for this week. I appreciate everyone spending the time with us, as I know that this is an investment in your time, and we thank everyone, and we also solicit your input and feedback on future webinar topics. So I want to thank Chris and Johnny, and I would ask everyone, please join us on April 20th, which will be our next Tech Tuesday. It'll be another in our series of RV on AV panel discussions with our Vice President of Sony B2B Solutions Division, Rich Ventura, and he'll be joined by our partner CCS and Indiana University for a discussion of the HighFlex classroom and a discussion about the CARES Act funding. So thanks again. I wish everyone stay safe and well, and look forward to speaking with you soon.